Hey everybody, it's Bob with Trade Genius. Got my good friend Phil here. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Over the next week and a half, there is a 6-day period of time that could tell the future for the stock market. We'll explain.
Trade Genius.
Hey everybody, it's Bob with Trade Genius. Hey, it is holiday season and our holiday specials are running right now. Use promo code HOLIDAY. You already blew it. You missed the Black Friday specials, but this is your second chance to take advantage of some of the best pricing that we do for the year. Check us out, tradelikeagenius.com, tradegenius.co, tradegeniusacademy.com. All roads lead to Trade Genius. Check us out, and the specials run till Christmas Day, so don't forget to take advantage of it. Incredible deals. Thanks for listening. Okay, Phil, the 6 most important trading days of the year are almost upon us. You kind of want to let people in on the secret?
Yeah, so Wayne Whaley on Twitter, he keeps different statistics on the S&P 500. I thought this one was rather interesting. Here is a chart. Now, there's a lot of numbers on here, so I'm going to walk you through it. But basically what it is it's the period of time where you have the 3 trading days before Christmas and then the 3 trading days after Christmas. So if you take those 6 trading days in aggregate, and you look at whether it was net positive or net negative, has some interesting correlations to what happens in not only January, but also the next trading year. So what you're looking for is whether or not it's out of that 6 days. If you get a negative, he calls it the Grinch. If it's a negative Grinch window, then what happens is you generally get a positive January and then also a positive year. Now, if you get what they call a positive Grinch, so it kind of works in reverse. Now, if you look at the bottom part of that chart, those are all the years where you've had a positive Grinch. And notice that's where the S&P 500 has had some of its largest drawdowns. So with all of the talk of potentially a recession or not a recession, that's a topic for debate right now. If we were to get this positive 6-day window, 3 days before Christmas, 3 days after Christmas, if that's positive, then you have to be open to the fact that we might be setting up for a negative S&P 500 with a potential recession. And keep in mind that Powell was pretty frank about we were likely to see a recession in 2024, which was a little different than what we've heard in the past. So it's an interesting stat. It's pretty consistent. Again, if it's a negative window, then it's positive for January and very, very bullish for the year. If not, if it's a positive Grinch, then it's negative for everything. So just think of it in terms of being the opposite. But I thought it was a very interesting stat, that kind of a niche stat. I've never really seen it before until he posted it, but seems to have a pretty powerful correlation here, Bob.
Yeah, and 2022 played out as a negative Grinch and ended up being a positive year.
Right.
And at some point, you wouldn't have thought that was going to happen. So, right. Yeah, a lot of interesting things are coming up, Phil, going into the end of, what's fascinating to me is that, if we do or do not get a post-OPEX pause here in the market, it looks like, man, massive blow-off is coming. It's really wild. And another thing, too, we're going to talk about this later this week, too. An oil trade is setting up as well. This trade has been like a metronome, and we'll talk about that maybe on Wednesday. So some really, really, really interesting dynamics are playing out. And I think what I like the most about what's coming up over the next 90 days, Phil, is just a lot of extreme volatility that's going to allow us to do some really, really cool swing trades. And just remember, I don't really personally care if the market goes up or down. I just want it to move. And we're going to get some movement here. We're going to get movement in nat gas. We're going to get movement in oil. We're definitely going to get movement in the indexes. I think the small caps were down today. Were they not, Phil? That's kind of a bit of a wake up here that they were playing catch up here over the last couple of weeks, and they're kind of drawing back down again. So I think it's going to be kind of definitely going to be fun time for being a trader.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we're going to see a lot of volatility as we get into the latter part of January. So maybe that'll coincide with the Bitcoin ETF announcement, which everyone is anticipating. That news item's being pretty heavily saturated at this point, and kind of view it as the run up. If you're running up into a massive news event like that, you have to watch for that. Sell the news, and that would kind of coincide with the negative flows that we would see going into March. So there's a lot of things that are kind of lining up for that scenario. So yeah, I think we're going to see what we expect, and that is positivity through the year for first of the year. And then that's where we got to really key in on how this thing performs going into March across the board for all risk on assets.
Yeah, and that's all we really want to talk about today, guys. We have a really cool podcast for you tomorrow. Some really interesting things are happening in the Main Street part of the world. And like I said, we're going to have a great one for oil. And then I'm sure Friday there's going to be some fireworks at PCE. So it's not going to be a dull week. I think there's going to be some action here because of some of the news flows. So stick around. Check us out during the week. Hit like, subscribe. Take advantage of our Christmas specials that we have running right now. I think the promo code's holiday. Get some really good deals on what we do. I think you'll like what we have. I mean, we've been on a freaking tear, the way this market's moving around now. And I think this is just going to be the beginning of a lot of fun here between now and Easter. So check us out and follow us, and thanks for listening. Have a great day.
Trade Genius.